Cavalry are soldiers on horseback.
A flank is the end of the military line.
Men of the Confederacy.
James Longstreet is a stubborn man who is second in command for the Confederacy. He is an advocate of defensive tactics after seeing how well they worked for the Confederate forces at the Battle of Fredericksburg. Robert E. Lee is the commander of the Confederate Army. He was one of the most beloved men in the American South. Lee's confidence in his army leads him to overestimate his men, causing the disaster of Pickett's charge. He dies of a mild heart attack. Arthur Fremantle was an Englishman sent to observe the Confederate Army. He especially admires Lee and Longstreet. Pickett rose to the rank of Major General, and he leads an entire division. His division has not seen action in battle yet, and he longs for a chance to prove himself and his men.
Men of the Union.
Joshua Chamberlain is the main Union voice in the novel. He's a colonel and used to be a professor. He is very good at analyzing what he sees around him, and he accepted the surrender of the Confederate forces. John Buford is a
Cavalry
commander. He has an eye for finding the best ground on a battlefield, and he has been given 2 brigades. Hancock was an important general of the Union Army who directs much of the action at Gettysburg. His best friend Armistead fights on the Confederate side.
Confederate strategy. Lee and Longstreet meet to discuss the plan or attack. Longstreet wants to fight defensively, but Lee wants to attack. Lee's insistence on a frontal assault creates problems between him and the defensive Longstreet. Lee does not want to fight defensively and believes he can finish the job at Gettysburg and declares a frontal assault. Lee is late in his attack and orders Hood to attack the peach orchard from the front, resulting in terrible losses. Union strategy. Chamberlain with the 20th Maine is ordered to defend the extreme left flank of the Union Army. They can't retreat because the Confederates will come around behind the Union and attack. Day 2 outcome. There was a lot of fighting along Little Round Top. Chamberlain with the 20th Maine protected from the back for the Union and charged the Confederates back down the hill. Confederate strategy. Longstreet is preparing for the assault he knows is coming. The Union cavalry is quickly closing in on his army's flank. Lee wants Longstreet to move, with Pickett's fresh division in front, and split the Union line in the middle. But Longstreet objects. But apparently, Ewell has engaged the enemy without order. Lee makes his firm decision to charge the Union center after they have attacked. Longstreet gives the order for the charge, and Pickett rides away gleefully. Soon, the Union artillery begins to open up, blowing huge holes in the Confederate lines. The Confederates repeatedly close up the holes, but soon the shells are falling all around them. An aide arrives and says that Chamberlain's regiment has been relieved and were moved towards a safe place to rest, right smack dab in the center of the line. They were resting when the Confederate artillery opens fire and the world explodes around Chamberlain. Chamberlain realizes an attack is coming and that he must form his regiment, but tired and weary from the blood loss of his foot wound, Chamberlain falls asleep again. Outcome. Longstreet sits on a rail fence on Seminary Ridge watching the horrific spectacle of Pickett's charge unfold. Everything he has feared has come to pass. Men come screaming to him asking for reinforcements, but he has already sent in every man he has. He orders Pickett to fall back. Longstreet knows the Confederate Army will never recover from this day. Longstreet tells Lee that he does not think the war can be won now, and Lee does not disagree, though he does not agree.